Welcome to Geeks 4x4, the home of the Bobbed Excursion. And today I am finally going to do a full walk around of how the Bobbed Excursion sits right this second. We're going to go through everything, try and be as detailed as I can. This might be a little bit long, so that might be annoying. But pretty much I'm going to flip the camera around, go front to back, in and out, and show you guys what's up. So let's get right to that. We're going to show you every part of the Bobbed Excursion. All right, so what we are looking at on the front here, we'll start down low. We've got an affordable off-road bumper that I did some modifications to. I cut off a couple inches here, and then this piece right here you can see goes flat. Actually was like this when I bought it. So I took and bent that up and made it to where it goes back a little bit. Give me some more ground clearance and then cut all this to match. Cut this to get the 40s in there. And then I actually ended up cutting the mounts on the frame and moving them back 1.5 inches to tuck this bumper in. The front of this bumper right here actually sits at factory distance from the grill, so that's pretty awesome. A Warren VR12S winch with synthetic line and all the good stuff. This thing is awesome. It works every stinking time you want to use it. Up in here, we've got a couple light bars, just, cheap Amazon ones that work great. And then the 6-liter transmission cooler is tucked in the back there to keep the transmission a little bit cool. We've got Hikasa, I think is what they are, lights. I'm realizing I'm telling you parts and then you're going to wonder how to get them. Everything is going to be linked in the Amazon list that I'm going to link below. Okay, so if you want to find any of these parts and I bought them on Amazon, they are in a list that is linked below. If it's not in that list, I didn't buy it on Amazon. All right, coming back a little bit, we are running Cooper Discover SST Pros right now with a Method 701 bead grip wheel. That is a 17x9 with a -12 backspace, I believe. This is a Dana 60 from a 2005 Super Duty. Okay, so this is coil sprung, Dana 60. We've got PMF steering linkage, so tie rod, drag link, stock track bar so far. Look at that off-road joint on that PMF arm. It's freaking awesome. And I think that's all the goodies right here that aren't factory. The coil swap, there's videos on that on my channel as well. We just got some regular bumps in there, and yes, it does keep it out of things. Skyjacker, Black Mac shocks all the way around. We walk around to this side, you can see this stuff better, I think. Let's find out. Yeah, so in here, Skyjacker shocks. You got the PMF bracket for the coil swap. I really like that because I didn't have to cut any riv nuts or take any ones off of an old truck. I bought those from PMF and they bolted right on. These are also from PMF. They make one for a non-4 link, but these are the 4-link ones. This is 4-linked on that coil swap. Pretty sweet. Use these as rock sliders. It's pretty fun. And then I built some custom skid plates for the bottom down there. There's a bunch of videos on the channel of that. There's videos on everything if you want to go really in depth for anything. Jason McDowell makes these cool light up emblems. Pretty sweet. And then this is just like an Amazon hood antenna mount. My radio is a TTY. That will also, I'll make sure that's in the link too. The radio is this TTY 4-band. Thing's freaking awesome. Rock sliders. So this is 3/16 2x4. This is 3/16 2x2. Also 3/16 2x2. All welded in where the rockers should be. So essentially, and I capped the bottom of the doors. So if you're looking at your doors, so essentially I cut 5 inches off the bottom of the doors and then cap the doors, cap the body, welded a lot, and now I have rock sliders. And as you can tell, we're using them and they work great. I got to get some paint out because it's been outside since Trail Hero and starting to rust a little. Sterling 10.5 in the back. This is the factory 2005 Super Duty axle. You want to match the axles when you do the coil swap because they are a different width. So they're actually like 4 inches wider. So you want the rear to match in there. All right, let's talk about rear suspension here. Rear springs are factory Excursion springs with the overload tang spring taken off. A shackle flip in the back. But they're not going to be that low if you just did that. It was really high, and then I ran it without 2 springs for a while, and I bent it, and now it sits where I want it. So I really want to do the 08 springs, but that'll come later. Keeping with things that are low, bumper, rear bumper, I built that. That's custom. Also, gas tank custom aluminum. Also, I cut 12 inches out of the back of the body. Wow, Bondo's breaking over here. Check that out. Yeah, first trail damage right here. That's from hard right turn. She fits, but not very well. All right, up to here, we have a Lexicon window that was provided by a subscriber. These things are stinking awesome because they just don't break. Just bolted in, obviously a foot shorter because that's where I cut it. That white line is where I cut it. So you can see right there, there is the cut. There is the top cut. Going around. Fill, still in the same spot because I cut it right next to it. Yeah, that's how everything is set up. Shackle flip is cool, kind of necessary for bobbing it because there's a support in the body that kind of gets in the way. Don't mind the inside, it is still very dirty. Hoping to make these doors into shelves and storage things and stuff like that. Built this sleeping platform here, got my bed on it and everything, and there's a 40-inch spare tire under there. The cooler is on a slide, so it comes out and usable. And then there's the inside where I cut. So these didn't line up perfectly, so ended up putting some bracketry over them. This one's the same way. And then there's the seam there. It's all covered with stuff now, but there's the seam. So obviously, yeah, goes all the way through the floor, goes all the way through the ceiling. So full seam. You can see like this is factory light here. I built a custom overhead console with that switch in the back you can see is an always powered light. So when I get in here and close the doors, I still have light to move around and see stuff at night. So that's pretty great. It still even has the bracketry for the third row if you would want it, but I sold the third row. But everything's in there for the second row. You can see the seat belts, and I'll show you what I do with that really quick. In here, I built this to where this sleeping platform comes apart right here. So I can pull this front section off, flip these seats up, have a 5-passenger Excursion still. That's pretty nice and quick to do. And then, yeah, here's more of that custom overhead thing. It's like 120 wall, 1.5 inches, I think is what I ended up with, an 1/8 inch plate. It's much heavier than I wanted it to be, but I think I'm gonna tie it into the cage. When I do the cage, that will work. The TTY radio. And then up here, we've got mic tuning. It's a 12 gang switch pod deal. The thing works awesome. I really like it. It has like a strobe mode and it has a momentary mode, so you can run, horn off of it and strobe lights and stuff like that. Then you'll see a gas gauge. That is because the ohms weren't right for the factory one. So it reads full pretty much all the time on the factory one, which is great for a V10. Then this one actually tells you how much fuel you have. Wolf box, recording rear view mirror, because stuff happens and it's nice to have that. Other than that, well, other than the cool seats, the PRP daily driver seats mounted to factory mounts. So this one's still got full power and everything that you want. That one's got heat in it and lumbar. I got to get this one, heat and lumbar. Yeah, PRP seats are stinking awesome. They bolt in so easily. It's just an L bracket to the thing, and it was so simple. Let's pop the hood, show you guys what's not going on under there. All right, under the hood, I've kept everything as pretty much stock as possible. I want the reliability of stock. Obviously, somebody's put coil packs in this and injectors, put some nice terminals on it because I knew we were going to be attaching things to the terminals. I think they're JBA headers that I did recently just to get rid of an exhaust leak. I wasn't going to fix it and not put headers on it. Then this is the mic tuning, like control box, main fuse, everything like that for the mic tuning stuff. Other than that, underneath this hood is completely bone stock. Sub 6.0 cooler, remember that's down in here. It's there, that's the top of it right there. And then ran all the wires as clean as I could for the winch and the other. So yeah, that's the Bobbed Excursion. It works really good off-road where it fits. So yeah, there's the Bobbed Excursion as it sits right now. It's November of 2024. I bought it in January of 2022. So it feels like it's been a long time and hasn't come very far, but man, it has come really far in that time. Maybe I'll drop a picture in here of when I first got it, because it's a much different looking truck now. But there are obviously still more things to do. You notice I didn't say anything about the axles. These are still factory from the 5.4 2005 F-250, which means they have 410s in them, which is helpful. Back has a limited slip, which seems like it's still working. But I've got gears sitting in the garage. I've got 488s, and I've got a Detroit for the rear and a Yukon Grizzly for the front. So I'm really looking forward to having this thing locked and geared. So yeah, the Bobbed Excursion is a solid platform right now. Obviously, there are a lot of things that still need to be done. I mentioned some things as I was going through it. You know, obviously the gears are the biggest thing, and the steering, I need some hydro really bad. When you get this thing aired down, and I've been running these Method bead grips at like 8 PSI, and this thing weighs 7,700 pounds. So I am so impressed with those wheels. So I need hydro to be able to turn it when it's aired down, especially when it's locked. It's gonna be a real problem. I need to build more gas tank. I've got 23 gallons in that custom tank right now, and I need more because the old V10 is not known to pass gas stations. And when you only have half the capability of the factory one, it's a real problem. So those are the biggest issues that it has. But overall, it does a 4 to a 6 trail really easily, as long as it fits. It's got some issues fitting sometimes. If it can fit, it'll go through most of the time. So it is, it's really cool, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, the whole build is on the YouTube channel. I will link the full playlist so you can kind of click through. We did some crazy stuff. Yeah, if you see me on the trail, come say hi. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you watching, and we will see you guys on the next one. Hey, one last thing before you go. Would you consider grabbing some Geeks 4x4 merch? There's a cool emblem on the back of it. It's that. I'm going to put a link to the merch down below. Check it out. Christmas time, give it away. Get your excursion content merch. This is the Excursion Guy. Just get some content. Get some merch. Get some stuff.